So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna show you with the spike and ferrule gutter system, how that comes off a roof. So if a customer asked us, and we wouldn't do this, but if a customer asked us to take off the gutters, replace the roof, and then reinstall a spike and ferrule gutter system, Craig's gonna show us what that looks like, and we're gonna try and demonstrate how it's not necessarily a friendly process, it's not a gentle process, and it's not, in the end, a functional process to reinstall spike and ferrule gutters. So, Craig, take it away.
But right off the bat, I'm just looking at it, and I'm thinking it would be silly to reinstall this. Just by looking at the end caps, the sealant that's in there, it looks like they've been resealed a few times, and it's probably not taking. So, let's get to it.
If we notice that you have an older spike and ferrule gutter system, or even one that isn't that old, if we have to take off your gutters to do your roof, when we put those back on, if we're trying to nail these spikes into the old cavities, we're making those cavities bigger, your new gutters, or excuse me, your reinstalled gutters are going to be less functional. They're going to hang off over time. They could even sag completely off and fall up in a really bad ice storm or a rainstorm.
Anytime you got to take a gutter off your house and you didn't use a drill, your gutters are too old. And then what I'm going to do is use a hanger from a newer style gutter system to make the set. So once you get that in, I'm going to come over here, make sure I'm got my shingle inside the gutter, which I do. Go to the other side and make sure my drop is lined up. And it is. So then what we do from there, so we're going to find out where that hole was. We're going to line up the ferrule, slide the spike through. And then when you're setting the gutter, you want to make sure you're up, because this is the high end. Makes sense, up high here, down low where the water drains. And then we're gonna, that's it. Now remember, when you're setting gutters, you set the middle, then you set the high end, the low end, and then you check the pitch. If your pitch is wrong and you're in spike and ferrule, what are we doing? Banging it back out to readjust the pitch. We have another one over here. Now I'm gonna feel the fascia. I know on the high end, I'm pretty high up. So if I'm down about 1.5 inches here, that should be enough pitch. And then you would repeat the process for each one of those holes.
Good. So the thing with the spike and ferrule gutter system is that these gutters are held into the fascia board behind the gutters with spikes. So these spikes are nailed through the gutter, and you can see, if you're trying to ascertain whether or not your gutters are an older kind of system, if you look up at them from the ground, you'll see these little dots on the outside of the gutter, so facing outwards. These are the spikes that are holding in the gutters into your fascia board. Now, the problem is that over time, 5, 10, 15 years, when water's sitting in the gutters, when ice is sitting into the gutters, those gutters will start to lean away from the house or sag away from the house. So the spikes that are, they're put in flush initially, they'll start to sag out, and what'll happen is they'll actually pop out. You'll notice on old spike and ferrule gutter systems, the spikes will start to pop out over time. And what will people do? They think good maintenance is taking the spikes and just tacking them back in to the fascia board so that they sit flush again. The problem is that every time you insert the spike, take it out, insert the spike, take it out, the cavity that the spike created is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So now this spike is just going to be looser and looser and looser. It's going to over time hang out more and more, and the gutters are going to sag more and more. That's why when we're working with a spike and ferrule gutter system, when we're trying to replace a roof, we can't reinstall that, or we don't like to reinstall that. Other roofers will. We don't like to reinstall that because you're going to pay for it down the line when your gutters stop working and you get water in your foundation or water in your basement. It's not good. So we like to install new gutter systems with roof replacements. And it's the cheapest it's ever going to be. If we can install a gutter system when we're already doing your roof, we lower our pricing on the gutters, because you're essentially doing us a favor. We don't have to reinstall crappy old gutters, and you're doing yourself a favor. So to scratch our back, we'll scratch your back, we both win. So we like to install new gutter systems when we're doing a brand new roof.